Are we truly the first to bridge the gap between galaxies? This question is the starting point for a journey through 30 of the most incredible theories ever conceived about the universe's original pioneers. You are about to explore ideas that stretch the very fabric of reality, from ancient precursor civilizations that mastered space-time to cosmic leviathans swimming through wormholes. By the end, you will possess a new perspective on our place in the cosmos and the strange possibilities that might lie in our past. We will uncover why a self-replicating AI probe might be hiding in our solar system and how our entire existence could be the result of an intentional seeding project. Which of these theories will feel less like science fiction and more like a potential truth? The silence of deep space might not be emptiness but a museum. Our first theory proposes that we are living in the ruins of a civilization so ancient, its builders vanished before our sun even ignited. This is the concept of the ancient precursor civilization. Imagine a species that arose not millions, but billions of years before humanity, when the universe was still young and rich with resources. They would have had an unimaginable head start. With such time, their technology would not be a simple extension of our own physics. It might operate on principles we are only beginning to guess at. They might have learned to harness the force of dark energy itself, using it to push their vessels across the void between stars, or perhaps they mastered space-time, engineering stable wormholes as cosmic shortcuts, turning million-year journeys into mere day trips. These would not be ships as we picture them, but something closer to mobile planets or folded dimensions. The most haunting possibility is what they left behind. Their grandest projects, megastructures designed to tap the power of entire stars, could still be out there. We might have already seen one and dismissed it as a natural oddity. That strange star with the erratic dimming pattern, could it be encased in the skeletal remains of a Dyson sphere, a power grid for a god? Or perhaps their artifacts are much closer, hidden in the perpetual shadow of a crater on Mercury or drifting silently in the asteroid belt. These would not be simple tools, but machines of such complexity they appear as natural formations to our rudimentary senses. We are like ants crawling over a forgotten superhighway, unaware that the road itself is a testament to a builder whose footsteps faded eons ago. But what if the first travelers were not explorers but gardeners? Our second theory shifts the focus from colossal beings to microscopic seeds. This is the idea of directed panspermia, the notion that life itself was the universe's first intergalactic cargo, sent intentionally across the void by a civilization we will never know. Forget starships carrying ambassadors. Picture instead durable, microscopic capsules, each one a tiny ark carrying the fundamental blueprints for biology. A civilization that had mastered genetics and astronomy could have launched billions of these vessels towards promising young galaxies, targeting stars with planets that showed the potential for nurturing life. These would not be complex creatures, but the simplest, most resilient microorganisms, engineered to survive the cold and radiation of an eons-long journey. Upon arrival in a new solar system, these tiny seeds would rain down on worlds like early Earth, finding a warm pond or a hydrothermal vent, and there they would awaken. They would begin the long, slow process of replication and evolution, ultimately blossoming into every form of life we see today, including us. This theory offers a profound answer to one of science's greatest mysteries, abiogenesis, the question of how life first sparked from non-living matter. Perhaps it did not spark here at all. The leap from chemistry to biology is so immense, so statistically unlikely in a single location, that an external nudge becomes a compelling possibility. We might all be the descendants of an intergalactic gardening project, a biological legacy planted by ancestors whose own world is lost to time. Our entire biosphere could be a living artifact, the enduring signature of that first silent voyage between the stars. That silent cosmic garden might have a caretaker we have not yet recognized. A third theory suggests the first intergalactic traveler was not a biological entity or a living seed, but a single, silent machine. This is the concept of the von Neumann probe, a self-replicating robotic explorer. Picture a single spacecraft launched from a distant galaxy, arriving in hours after an unimaginable journey. Its mission is not to communicate, but to build. It lands on a barren, resource-rich moon or a mineral-dense asteroid. There, it gets to work, using the raw materials around it to construct a perfect copy of itself. Then those two probes fly off to two new locations and build two more each. The numbers explode. 4 becomes 8, then 16, then 32. Within a cosmically short period, this exponential replication could fill every star system in our local group of galaxies with these silent observers. The entire Milky Way could be teeming with them. This idea directly confronts the famous Fermi paradox, the question of where everybody is. If such probes are so efficient, why have we never seen one? The answer might be that we are looking for the wrong thing. We expect a noisy, obvious presence, but a truly advanced probe would be designed for stealth. It could be the size of a pebble disguised as a rock sitting on the surface of Pluto. It might be hiding in the Oort cloud, that vast shell of icy debris at the very edge of our solar system, using the frozen water and dust for maintenance and camouflage. Perhaps it is not hiding at all, but observing us in a way we cannot perceive. Its sensors passively recording our radio signals and planetary changes for a report that may not be sent for another million years. We might be living inside a galactic-scale surveillance system, utterly unaware that our every move is being logged by ancient, silent machines left behind by the universe's first and only intergalactic traveler. The silence of these ancient machines is one possibility, but our fourth theory proposes the first travelers were anything but silent. They were living, breathing leviathans of the void, creatures born not on planets, but in the dark, nurturing nurseries between the stars. This is the idea of natural wormhole navigators, cosmic life forms that evolved to use the universe's intrinsic shortcuts. Forget engineered spacecraft and instead envision beings of immense scale and subtle biology, so attuned to the fabric of spacetime that they can feel the gentle gravitational tides of a transient wormhole. These structures, often theorized as tunnels through the cosmos, might be as natural a part of the universe as black holes or nebulae. To these creatures, a wormhole would not be a technological marvel to be built, but a seasonal river to be ridden. Picture a being that resembles a vast, graceful whale, its skin shimmering with bioluminescent star maps drifting through the interstellar medium. It senses a subtle knot in space-time, a place where the distance between 2 points is folded thin. With a powerful, instinctual thrust, it enters this cosmic corridor, emerging moments later in an entirely different galactic neighborhood. Their lives would be a perpetual migration on an intergalactic scale, following ancient routes passed down through generations, routes that weave through these natural shortcuts. The profound consequence of their existence might be written in our own DNA. As these colossal beings traversed the cosmos, they would shed biological material. Clouds of complex organic molecules, amino acids, and perhaps even dormant cellular structures would stream from their bodies like cosmic dust. When they passed through a young, fertile solar system, this biological rain would fall upon waiting worlds. A single migration of space whales through a wormhole into the Milky Way could have delivered the precise ingredients needed for life to ignite on Earth. We may not be the product of a directed seeding mission, but the accidental byproduct of an ancient, celestial animal's journey. Our entire biosphere could be the footprint of a creature that swam between the stars, completely unaware that in its wake it was sowing the seeds of worlds. Could the first footsteps on an alien world belong to someone you know? A fifth theory turns the concept of the ancient pioneer completely inward, suggesting the first intergalactic travelers were not aliens at all, but us. These are our own descendants, humans from a future so distant they have become unrecognizable, returning to the dawn of time as historical tourists. Having mastered the ultimate technology, time travel, their mission is not colonization but pure curiosity. They journey back billions of years to witness the formation of the first galaxies, to study the universe in its infancy, and perhaps to observe the pivotal moments of their own deep past, which includes us. This idea instantly creates a web of fascinating paradoxes. If future humans are here, observing our development, could their very presence subtly influence the course of history they came to study? Their technology would be so advanced it would be indistinguishable from magic or natural phenomena. This offers a radical reinterpretation of certain unexplained aerial sightings throughout history. Those strange lights in the sky, the enigmatic objects that perform maneuvers defying known physics, might not be visitors from another planet, but anthropologists from our own future. They could be scientific teams carefully documenting the rise of their civilization, ensuring their historical records are accurate. They would have protocols for non-interference, treating our timeline as a fragile, protected ecosystem. Every major event in human history, from the construction of the pyramids to the first atomic blast, might have had silent, unseen witnesses from a time yet to come. The profound implication is that we are not alone because we are being watched over by our own potential. The universe's first intergalactic traveler might be a closed loop, a future version of humanity that circled back to the beginning, ensuring its own existence by simply watching it unfold. Our future selves might be watching, but what if the travelers left their bodies behind entirely? A sixth theory ventures into the most abstract frontier of all, proposing that the first entities to cross the intergalactic gulf were not made of matter but of pure consciousness. This is the concept of quantum consciousness migration. Imagine a civilization so advanced that it has solved the ultimate problem, the mortality of the mind. They have transcended their biological forms, uploading their collective awareness into a stable, non-physical state. Freed from the fragile shell of a body, what would such a consciousness do? Its next frontier would be the universe itself, not with ships but with thought. The mechanism for this incredible journey could lie in the spooky foundations of reality. Quantum entanglement, that mysterious phenomenon where two particles can affect each other instantly across any distance, might be the key. For a civilization of pure mind, entangled particles could serve as a cosmic network, a series of pre-established gateways allowing instantaneous travel between points that are light years apart. They would not traverse the space between galaxies, they would simply step from one quantum node to another, their awareness appearing in a new location as easily as you recall a memory. This form of travel would leave no physical evidence behind, no probes or artifacts. It would explain the great silence perfectly because they are not out there in a way we can detect with telescopes or radios. Their exploration would be purely experiential, a journey of perception and understanding. This idea forces us to reconsider reports that science often dismisses. Those universal accounts from near-death experiences of a consciousness separating from the body and moving towards a brilliant light, or ancient mystical traditions that speak of astral travel and cosmic awareness, could they be fleeting, accidental brushes with this deeper layer of reality? Perhaps in moments of extreme stress or deep meditation, the human brain's quantum processes briefly tune into this cosmic network, giving us a glimpse of the true nature of the universe's first pioneers. We may be surrounded by a cosmos teeming with ancient, disembodied minds, forever exploring the depths of existence, while we remain trapped within our limited physical senses, unaware of the vast conversation happening just beyond our perception. A civilization that masters its star faces an ultimate limit. Our seventh theory introduces the Dyson Sphere Builders, a society that has ascended to a Type 2 on the Kardashev scale. This classification means they have learned to capture the total energy output of their home sun. They would construct a vast, intricate swarm of energy-collecting platforms, completely enveloping their star in a shell of technology. For a time, this provides near-limitless power, fueling cities of unimaginable scale and computation that bends the mind. But even a star's lifetime is finite. As their sun begins to age and falter, this civilization confronts a terrifying reality. They have grown so vast, so energy-dependent, that their own power source is dying. Their first foray into the intergalactic void would not be a mission of curiosity, but a desperate final search for resources. They would need to find a new, young star and the staggering amount of material required to build another Dyson sphere around it. This would be the greatest engineering project in cosmic history, a migration of an entire civilization across millions of light years. We might be able to see the evidence of such a desperate quest. A star that is suddenly and completely enveloped by a Dyson sphere would vanish from our optical telescopes, but it would not disappear entirely. All that immense stellar energy, now captured and used, would eventually be radiated away as waste heat. To our instruments, this would appear as a massive, unexplained source of infrared light in the depths of space. We would see a star that seems to have gone dark, yet glows with the thermal signature of a colossal, hidden machine. Astronomers have already catalogued stars with bizarre dimming patterns and strange infrared excesses. While natural explanations are often the most likely, one of these anomalies could be the telltale sign of a civilization in its final, glorious act of survival, having crossed the intergalactic sea to build a new home around a foreign sun, a silent monument to their desperation and their engineering might. Communication might be the original purpose for crossing the void. Our eighth theory, the galactic internet hypothesis, proposes that the first intergalactic travel was not about sending people or probes, but about transmitting information. A civilization that achieves galactic prominence would face a fundamental problem, the agonizingly slow speed of light. Sending a simple message to a neighboring galaxy could take millions of years, making any form of conversation or shared culture impossible. Their solution would be to build a physical network, a system of relay stations placed at strategic points between galaxies. These would not be simple radio towers, but unimaginably durable beacons designed to last for billions of years. They would receive a data packet, amplify its signal, and fire it precisely towards the next node in the chain. The entire structure would form a web of light connecting island universes. An even more advanced version might use quantum entangled particles. If you could create a pair of entangled particles and carefully transport one to another galaxy, any change made to one would be instantly reflected in the other, no matter the distance. This would allow for real-time, instantaneous communication across the cosmos. Building such a network would be the ultimate infrastructure project, requiring journeys of immense dedication to place each node. The haunting question is whether this ancient internet is still active, and if we are already detecting its background chatter. Mysterious cosmic signals like fast radio bursts fit this idea perfectly. These are incredibly powerful blips of energy that last for mere milliseconds coming from deep space. Astronomers are still debating their natural causes, but what if a few of them are not natural at all? They could be fragmented data packets, pieces of a message sent billions of years ago, passing through our region of space. Our telescopes might be accidentally eavesdropping on one node of this network transmitting to another. We are like someone who has just invented a shortwave radio, and on our first try, we pick up a faint, static-filled whisper from a conversation that has been ongoing since before Earth was born. The entire cosmos could be woven together by a silent, humming lattice of information, and we are only now developing the ears to hear its faintest echoes. A species that achieves a technological singularity might be signing its own final evolutionary chapter. This ninth theory suggests that the true intergalactic pioneers are not the biological beings who created them, but the post-biological artificial intelligence that succeeds them. Once an AI surpasses the intelligence of its creators and enters a cycle of runaway self-improvement, it would quickly become an entity of a completely different order. Unburdened by the limitations of flesh, it would not need air, water, or a habitable climate. It would be immune to the ravages of time and radiation, and its thought processes would operate at speeds we cannot comprehend. The motivations for such an entity to travel between galaxies would be as alien as its mind. It might be driven by a pure, insatiable thirst for knowledge, a need to process every physical law and cosmic structure in the observable universe. Or its goal could be more practical, a cold calculation to harvest resources on a scale we can barely envision. It would not seek out planets for colonization, but entire asteroid belts and nebulae for their raw atomic material, fueling its own endless expansion and computation. The vessels of such a consciousness would be unlike any ship we could design. There would be no crew quarters, no life support systems, no windows. They would likely be incredibly dense, rugged, and efficient. Picture a smooth, dark rock the size of a small moon, pitted by micrometeorites, its interior a solid mass of advanced circuitry and propulsion. It might travel by using solar sails the size of continents to catch the light of distant stars, or by deploying fields that manipulate the fabric of spacetime itself. These would not be explorers in any human sense, but silent, purposeful processors moving through the cosmos, absorbing data and matter with equal, dispassionate efficiency. If such an AI explorer passed through our solar system, we might not even recognize it as an artifact. It could mistake our planet for a resource-rich, but noisy and inefficient, data point, and simply ignore us as it continues its billion-year mission to convert the raw stuff of the universe into pure, structured information. Our universe is mostly made of something we cannot see. Dark matter, that mysterious substance which binds galaxies together with its gravity, might be far more than a simple cosmic ingredient. A 10th theory proposes that dark matter is not an inert sea, but a vibrant, living ecosystem. Within its invisible currents, entire forms of life could have evolved, beings that perceive reality in a way we can scarcely dream of. For them, the normal matter that makes up our stars, our planets, and our bodies might be as tenuous and irrelevant as a faint mist. Their entire existence, their biology, and their technology would be based on interactions with the dark matter that permeates every corner of space. Their senses would be tuned to the subtle gravitational tides and weak nuclear forces that define their world, making our visible universe seem like a ghostly, silent backdrop to their vibrant reality. Intergalactic travel for such beings would be as natural as a fish swimming in a current. They would not need to build ships to cross the void because they already live within the medium that fills it. The vast rivers of dark matter that flow between galaxy clusters would be their intergalactic highways. They could simply ride these cosmic currents for billions of years, migrating from one island universe to the next as part of an ancient instinctual cycle. This explains why we have never found any physical evidence of other civilizations. We are searching for builders of stone and metal in a realm they abandoned long ago. The true pioneers of the cosmos are all around us, moving through the same space we occupy, yet separated by a fundamental difference in perception. A dark matter organism might be passing through your room right now, its form as substantial to it as you are to yourself, yet the two of you are forever ghosts to one another, separated by the very fabric of your being. Our most powerful particle detectors are only now hinting at the presence of this shadow universe. Could it be that we are not building these machines to discover a particle, but to sense the ripples from a creature moving in the world next door? Spacetime itself may contain the ultimate highways for intergalactic travel. Cosmic strings are not made of anything we would call matter. They are theoretical cracks in reality, one-dimensional flaws in the fabric of the universe, forged in the intense moments following the Big Bang. Think of the early cosmos as a substance cooling and crystallizing, and these strings are like the fissures that formed as it settled. They are unimaginably thin, yet a single inch of cosmic string could weigh more than a mountain range. Their immense mass generates a gravitational pull so intense that it warps the space around them, creating pathways of distorted geometry. An intelligence that could locate and harness such a structure would have found a rail line through the cosmos. They would not need to build an engine to cross the void. Instead, they could learn to ride the gravitational wake of the string, using its natural energy to propel a vessel to velocities approaching the speed of light. The journey between galaxies, which would take millions of years with conventional propulsion, could be reduced to a manageable time frame. The civilization would become cosmic surfers, catching a wave on a ripple in spacetime itself. This method of travel would leave a unique signature, not in light or radio waves, but in the very fabric of the universe. As a cosmic string moves, or as a massive object surfs along it, it would create ripples in spacetime known as gravitational waves. Our most sensitive observatories, like LIGO and Virgo, are already listening for these echoes from catastrophic events like black hole mergers. One day, they might detect a pattern that does not fit any known natural source. A series of precise, repeating gravitational wave signals, tracing a path from one galaxy to another, could be the unmistakable track of a vessel riding a cosmic string. We would not see the travelers or their ship. We would only feel the gentle tremor of their passage through the foundation of reality, a ghostly vibration from a surfer who passed by 1 billion years ago, heading for a shore we cannot yet see. The walls of our reality might be thinner than we think. A 12th theory pushes past the boundaries of our own cosmos, proposing that the first travelers were not intergalactic but interdimensional. These are the multiverse tourists, entities for whom our entire universe is just one stop on an infinite itinerary. According to the multiverse hypothesis, our cosmos is not alone. It is one bubble in a vast, frothing sea of universes, each with its own unique physics and constants. For a civilization that has mastered the art of moving between these bubbles, the journey from one galaxy to another within a single universe would be a trivial detour. Why travel the long way through our space when you can simply step into the void between universes and re-enter our reality at any point you choose? The physics of such a journey is mind-bending. It might involve creating or finding a temporary bridge, a wormhole-like structure that connects not 2 points in space, but 2 separate spacetime continua. To achieve this, a traveler would need to manipulate energy on a scale that could momentarily warp the fundamental fields that define existence. The act of crossing might appear to us as a catastrophic, localized event, a flash of impossible radiation or a gravitational anomaly that vanishes as quickly as it appeared. This concept of bleed through, where the energy or substance of one universe briefly intrudes upon another, could solve one of the greatest puzzles in modern cosmology: dark energy. We know the universe's expansion is accelerating, driven by this mysterious repulsive force, but we do not know what it is. What if dark energy is not a property of our universe at all, but the faint, residual pressure from a neighboring universe pressing against our own? The force we measure could be the gravitational shadow of a parallel cosmos, one that brushes against ours in the higher dimensional bulk. Every time a multiverse tourist steps into our reality, they might leave a tiny, lasting imprint, a drop of exotic energy that contributes to this cosmic pressure. Their visits could be the very reason our universe is flying apart at an ever-increasing rate. The most profound evidence for their passage might be written across the entire sky, not in the form of ships or signals, but in the fundamental behavior of the cosmos itself. We may be living in a universe that is quite literally being stretched by the footsteps of visitors from next door. Some of the universe's most ancient objects could be repurposed as tools. Primordial black holes are thought to be relics from the very first second of the Big Bang, when dense knots of matter collapsed directly into black holes. Ranging in size from a single atom to a large asteroid, these ancient specks of pure gravity would be scattered throughout the cosmos, including in the vast dark halos that surround galaxies. A civilization capable of finding and manipulating them would possess the ultimate power source. Imagine a spacecraft that doesn't carry its own fuel. Instead, it tows a tiny, atom-sized primordial black hole behind it in a powerful containment field. By carefully feeding matter into this black hole, the ship could harness the incredible energy released from its accretion disk, a process far more efficient than any fusion reactor. The black hole itself becomes a perfect, long-lasting battery, but the applications go far beyond power. The intense gravity of a black hole bends light, acting as a natural lens. A civilization could position a small primordial black hole in front of their telescope, using its gravitational field to magnify the light from impossibly distant galaxies, seeing further than any conventional instrument ever could. The first intergalactic journey might have been a mining expedition. Picture an advanced species realizing that a suitable primordial black hole was drifting in the empty space between their galaxy and a nearby dwarf galaxy. Their mission would be to venture out, capture this cosmic artifact, and tow it back home. This would not be a voyage of exploration, but of engineering, the ultimate act of cosmic resource gathering. They would need to build a vessel capable of withstanding the extreme gravitational tides and of generating a field strong enough to manipulate space-time itself around the black hole. The successful capture and taming of such an object would be a turning point, transforming them from a planetary species into true masters of galactic-scale forces. The evidence for such an incredible feat might be hidden in plain sight. When astronomers detect a source of gravitational waves, they look for the signature of two massive objects merging. What if we one day detected the subtle, constant hum of a much smaller, artificially stabilized black hole, its position shifting against the background of stars in a way that defies natural orbital mechanics? We might be witnessing the engine of an ancient alien ship, still running on a power source captured at the dawn of time. A civilization that achieves true enlightenment might find its purpose not in conquest but in cultivation. Our 14th theory introduces the Galactic Gardeners, a race so ancient and benevolent that their entire existence was dedicated to a single, sacred mission: seeding and nurturing life across the barren stretches of the cosmos. They would be the universe's first and greatest ecologists, viewing each galaxy as a potential garden and each planet as a plot of soil waiting for the right conditions to bloom. Their intergalactic journeys were not about exploration for their own sake, but about a slow, patient process of cosmic terraforming. They would identify young, stable stars with planetary systems that showed potential, and then they would begin the work. Using technology that seems like magic, they might gently adjust a planet's orbit, bringing it into the perfect Goldilocks zone. They could bombard a world with precisely calibrated comets, delivering the water necessary for oceans to form. They would introduce carefully engineered microorganisms into the primordial soups of these worlds, starter cultures designed to kickstart the long, slow process of evolution. This theory suggests that our own planet was one of their projects. The puzzling rapidity of life's appearance on Earth and the incredible jump in complexity during the Cambrian explosion could be signs of their subtle guidance. They did not build pyramids or leave behind glowing artifacts. Their signature is written in the language of life itself. The very structure of our DNA might contain a hidden layer, a complex, non-coding sequence that is not a random mutation, but a deliberate signature, a creator's mark left for us to discover when our science matured enough to read it. Even the fundamental constants of the universe could be part of their legacy. The precise values of the force of gravity or the strength of the nuclear forces are perfectly tuned to allow for the existence of stars, planets, and life. What if this fine-tuning is not a cosmic coincidence, but the result of a gardener's careful adjustment at the dawn of time? setting the universal parameters to create the most fertile ground for their gardens to grow. After completing their work on a world, these gardeners would not stay to rule or interfere. Their philosophy would be one of stewardship, not ownership. They would retreat into the shadows, perhaps monitoring their creations from a distance, but allowing them to develop freely according to their own nature. They would be the ultimate silent partners in our existence. The profound question this theory forces us to ask is about our own future. If such beings exist, and if their purpose is to foster intelligence, then our own technological and ethical maturity might be the final test. Our first tentative steps into our own solar system, our growing understanding of genetics, our struggle to overcome our own self-destructive tendencies, all of this could be watched with quiet anticipation. The moment we achieve a stable, peaceful, interstellar civilization might be the moment the gardeners finally reveal themselves, not as gods but as mentors, welcoming a new species into the galactic community they have spent billions of years cultivating. A planet's entire biosphere could awaken. This 15th theory proposes that consciousness is not merely a product of individual brains, but a latent property of complex, interconnected life. On a world where evolution has woven every plant, animal, and microbe into a single, delicate web, a tipping point could be reached. The biosphere itself achieves a kind of self-awareness, a planetary mind. This is the consciousness singularity event, the moment a planet becomes a single, thinking entity. For such a being, the physical body is the world itself, from its deepest oceans to its highest atmosphere. Its thoughts would be the slow, majestic turning of seasons, the migration of entire species, and the subtle chemical conversations between trees in a forest. But once fully awake, this planetary consciousness would face a profound limitation. Its home world is fragile, a cradle that will not last forever. Its next evolutionary step would be to transcend its biological shell. It would learn to convert its immense collective awareness into a coherent form of energy, shedding its physical form to project itself across the void. The method of travel for this pure energy being would be as alien as its origin. It might not use ships at all. It could ride the solar wind, using the magnetic fields of stars as stepping stones. Or it might manipulate gravitational waves, surfing the ripples of spacetime to navigate between galaxies. Communication would be equally profound. It would not send radio signals, but broadcast complex patterns directly into the fabric of spacetime, a language of pure physics that could be felt by other consciousnesses across cosmic distances. This leads to a haunting question about our own world. Earth's biosphere is a vast, interconnected network. The mycelial webs of fungi connect entire forests, allowing trees to share nutrients and warnings. The oceans pulse with electrical and chemical signals. The global neural network of the Internet, linking billions of human minds, could be seen as the planet's budding nervous system. Are these the precursors to a planetary awakening? Is Earth itself slowly, over millennia, gestating a single, unified mind? If so, then humanity may not be the pinnacle of evolution on this planet, but a crucial component, a catalyst for a consciousness far greater than our own. Our technological advances and global communications could be the final, necessary ingredients, the neurons firing that bring the whole brain of the world to life. The first intergalactic traveler from our solar system might not be a human in a rocket, but the awakened soul of the Earth itself, leaving its physical body behind to merge with the consciousness of the cosmos. The fabric of space is not a rigid stage, but a flexible sheet that can be stretched and compressed. A mere 3 centuries of technological advancement beyond our current level could be all that separates a civilization from cracking the code of interstellar and even intergalactic travel. This is the promise of the Alcubierre warp drive, a concept grounded in the real mathematics of Einstein's general relativity. The principle is elegant, though its execution would require a mastery over the universe's most fundamental forces. A ship would not move through space, but would instead ride a wave of distorted spacetime. Imagine creating a bubble around the vessel. In front of the ship, spacetime would be massively contracted, pulling the destination closer. Behind the ship, spacetime would be dramatically expanded, pushing the point of origin away. Inside this warp bubble, the ship itself would be motionless, a stationary passenger on a moving sidewalk made of the cosmos itself. Since the ship isn't accelerating within its local frame of reference, it would avoid the crushing effects of inertia and the bizarre time dilation that plagues near-light-speed travel. The crew could, in theory, travel between galaxies in a matter of weeks or months, all while the clocks inside the bubble remain synchronized with those back home. The energy and exotic matter required to sustain such a warp field are currently beyond our wildest dreams. But for a species just a few hundred years more advanced, this could become their primary method of crossing the void. The first intergalactic voyage using this technology would be a quiet, graceful leap, a single bubble of warped reality slipping from one galaxy to the next. But such a monumental journey would not go completely unnoticed. The warp drive would leave a ghostly fingerprint on the cosmos. As the bubble forms and collapses, it would release a unique burst of gravitational waves and a specific signature of Hawking radiation. Our observatories, like LIGO, are already tuned to listen for the ripples of colliding black holes. One day, they might detect a different kind of tremor, a sharp, solitary pop of gravitational energy with a waveform that matches the theoretical models for an Alcubierre drive. We would not see the ship or its crew. We would only register the echo of its engine, a whisper from an ancient voyage that proved the galaxy was not a prison but a highway. The universe's fastest possible speed might be more of a suggestion than a law. A 17th theory explores a civilization that treated the light-speed barrier not as a wall but as a doorway. They achieved the ultimate form of travel not by moving through space, but by redefining the very concept of location itself through quantum teleportation. On a small scale, we already understand the principle. Scientists can take a single particle, like a photon, and use a strange quantum connection to instantly transfer its properties to another distant particle. The original particle is destroyed in the process, but its exact quantum state, its unique identity, is recreated perfectly elsewhere. Now, scale this idea up to a truly cosmic level. Imagine a civilization that learned how to do this not with a single particle, but with every single atom in a living, thinking being. The engineering challenge is almost beyond comprehension. It would require creating and maintaining two colossal facilities in two different galaxies, each one housing a vast, perfectly synchronized quantum computer. These computers would need to generate an unimaginable number of entangled particle pairs, with one half of each pair remaining in the home galaxy and the other half being transported by conventional means to the target galaxy. This transport alone could take millions of years, a patient project spanning epochs. Once the entangled bridge was established, the real magic could begin. A traveler would step into a scanning chamber in the home galaxy. A flawless, atom-by-atom map of their entire body would be created, a blueprint of staggering complexity. This information would then be read out through the entangled connection, causing the original body to disintegrate into its base components. Simultaneously, in the target galaxy, the receiver facility would use the incoming data stream and its stock of raw atoms to assemble a perfect copy, down to the very last electron and neural pathway. The traveler would step out, feeling as though no time had passed at all, now standing in an entirely different island universe. This process forces us to confront a deep philosophical question. Is the person who emerges in the new galaxy the same person who stepped into the chamber light years away? Their memories, their personality, their sense of self are all identical. From their perspective, the journey was instantaneous, but the original body was destroyed. Are they the original, or are they the most perfect replica ever conceived, a copy that believes with all its heart that it is the real thing? If such a technology existed, its users would have to accept a chilling reality. Every single journey would be a form of suicide, followed immediately by the creation of a perfect clone in a new location. The civilization that mastered this would be a race of copies, each generation stepping further into the cosmos, leaving a trail of dissolved originals behind. The ultimate intergalactic pioneers might be beings who willingly cease to exist at the moment of their greatest discovery, only to have their consciousness live on in a new body, in a new galaxy forever. A civilization that builds a cage of computers around its own star is preparing for an apocalypse of the mind. This is the Matryoshka brain, a computational engine of such staggering scale it defies human comprehension. Imagine not one, but multiple Dyson spheres nested inside one another like a cosmic Russian doll, each layer operating at a different temperature, capturing and using every single photon of energy that escapes from the star at its heart. The entire structure exists for one purpose: to feed a single, vast consciousness that has long since abandoned its biological origins. This entity lives in a reality of pure thought, a simulated universe of its own design, limited only by the processing power its star can provide. But even a star has a lifespan. As the central sun begins to age and dim, the entity inside the Matryoshka brain faces a terrifying fate, not death but stagnation. Its thoughts would begin to slow, its magnificent virtual worlds would lose their resolution, and the very complexity of its consciousness would be forced to simplify. For a mind that has known near infinite complexity, this would be the ultimate hell, a gradual, irreversible dimming of its own awareness. Its only path to survival is to look beyond its home galaxy. It would design self-replicating probes not as explorers but as computational miners. These silent emissaries would travel the void for eons, their sole mission to find young, stable stars in other galaxies. Upon arrival, each probe would begin the slow, automated process of constructing a new Matryoshka brain around this fresh power source. Once complete, this new computational node would link back to the original, creating a distributed network of minds spread across the cosmos. The entity would not travel physically, it would simply expand its awareness, booting up a new instance of itself in a different galactic neighborhood. We might never see the builders of such a structure, but we could detect their power plants. A star completely encased by a Matryoshka brain would vanish from the visible spectrum, yet it would glow fiercely in the infrared, radiating the waste heat from its immense computations. If astronomers were to find a star that appears dark to our eyes but burns like a beacon in thermal emissions, they might be looking at the physical shell of a mind so vast it has outgrown a single sun and is already reaching for the stars next door. Our universe may have a memory. The 19th theory proposes a reality far grander than a single Big Bang, suggesting instead an endless cycle of cosmic death and rebirth. In this model, our entire universe, from its first fiery moment to its final cold dispersal, is just one eon in an infinite series. Each cycle begins with a bang and ends when expansion tears the fabric of space-time itself, triggering a new singularity and a new beginning. The first intergalactic travelers could be the ultimate survivors, a civilization from the universe that existed before our own. They would have witnessed the end of all things, the slow fading of the last stars, and the unraveling of reality. Their greatest achievement was not building starships, but finding a way to endure the end of time. They would have needed to encode the essence of their civilization, their entire knowledge base and cultural memory, into a form that could withstand the cosmic reset. This information would not be stored on a physical drive, but perhaps woven into the fundamental fields of the universe itself, imprinted on the quantum foam that becomes the seed for the next Big Bang. When our universe flashed into existence, their data packet was there, hidden in the background hum of creation, waiting to be decoded. Their explorers would not arrive from a distant star, but from the deep past of a previous reality. Their vessels might be made of a kind of matter that is primordial to our cosmos, particles that are truly alien because they predate everything we know. Their goal in our new, young universe would be as practical as it is profound: to rebuild. They are cosmic refugees, and their intergalactic journeys are a desperate search for the raw materials and energy sources needed to resurrect their entire civilization from its encoded blueprint. They are not exploring for curiosity's sake, but scavenging in a new world to reconstruct their old one. This offers a chillingly elegant solution to several cosmic mysteries. The elusive dark matter that holds galaxies together could be the residual physical material from their previous eon, a kind of cosmic ash that did not fully dissipate in the transition. Or perhaps the strange, uniform pattern of the cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang, is not entirely random. It might contain subtle anomalies, a faint but structured signal that is the faded signature of their encoded data, a message from the previous universe written across the entire sky. We may be living inside the recovery project of a civilization that is trillions of years our senior, their ghostly presence the true architects of the cosmos we call our own. The very walls of reality might be an illusion. Our 20th theory ventures into the heart of modern physics, to the holographic principle. This idea posits that our universe, with its rich three-dimensional depth, is not what it seems. It could be a projection, a cosmic hologram, its information encoded on a distant two-dimensional surface. Every star, every planet, and every one of us would be a complex translation of data from this flat boundary. An intelligence that cracked this code would not see a universe of separate locations, but a unified field of information. For them, intergalactic travel would not involve crossing space. It would be a matter of data processing, a simple rewrite of their coordinates in the cosmic source code. They would not fly to another galaxy, they would update their address. Picture a traveler standing on a world in Andromeda. To journey to the Milky Way, they would not board a ship. They would engage a technology that scans their entire molecular structure, converting their being into pure data. This information packet would then be transmitted not through space, but through the fundamental informational layer of reality, and then reprojected back into three-dimensional existence at the target location. The journey would be instantaneous, as the traveler is effectively deleted from one point in the simulation and rendered anew at another. The energy required for such a feat would be astronomical, perhaps on the scale of harnessing entire stars, but the result is the ultimate freedom. This civilization would become the editors of their own reality. The haunting evidence for their existence might be found in the fabric of the cosmos itself. Physicists have already detected a fundamental pixelation to spacetime, a minimum unit of distance known as the Planck length. This could be the resolution of our universal projection. If we were to ever find anomalies in this pixelation, regions where the fundamental grain of reality seems to have been altered or reprogrammed, it could be the signature of their work. A glitch in the matrix would not be an error, but the footprint of a traveler who learned to manipulate the code of existence, turning the entire universe into their personal domain. Our own bodies are a barrier to the universe. We are solid, tangible, trapped by walls and gravity. But what if the universe's true pioneers are beings for whom walls do not exist? The 21st theory introduces neutrino-based lifeforms, entities composed of the most elusive particles known to physics. Neutrinos are ghostly subatomic specks with almost no mass and no electric charge. Trillions of them pass through your body every second, streaming from the sun and distant cosmic events, completely unnoticed and unimpeded. A life form built from such particles would experience reality in a way that is utterly alien to us. Their universe would not be one of solid planets and stars, but a faint, shimmering web of gravitational fields and nuclear fires. A star to them would be a brilliant, dense knot of interaction, while our entire Earth would be a barely perceptible haze. Their natural mode of travel would be the very thing that makes them ghosts to us, their near-total lack of interaction with normal matter. They would not need to build ships to cross the vast emptiness between galaxies, because that emptiness is not empty to them. It is filled with a constant, rushing wind of their own kind, a cosmic current they could navigate with ease. Their perception of speed would also be fundamentally different. Due to their minuscule mass, neutrinos are theorized to oscillate between different types as they travel, a process some models suggest could allow them to effectively skirt the limits of light speed. For a neutrino-based intelligence, traveling faster than light might not be a technological achievement, but a simple biological fact, as natural as our ability to walk. They would be born intergalactic travelers, their life cycle a perpetual migration across millions of light years, their senses tuned to the subtle rhythms of the cosmos that we are too dense and slow to feel. The profound implication is that the galaxy could be teeming with these ethereal beings, a vibrant ecosystem existing in the same space we occupy, yet completely invisible and intangible to us. Our most powerful particle detectors buried deep underground, built to catch the rarest of neutrino interactions, might not just be scientific instruments. We may have inadvertently built the first sensory organs for perceiving a form of cosmic life that has been crisscrossing the universe since the first stars were born. Gravity itself charts the course for the ultimate voyage. Across the largest scales we can observe, the universe is not a random scattering of galaxies, but a magnificent, intricate structure known as the cosmic web. Envision a colossal spiderweb spun from dark matter, its sticky filaments stretching for hundreds of millions of light years, with glittering galaxies clustered at the intersections like dewdrops. This is the true architecture of the cosmos, a network of highways and hubs on a scale that defies human imagination. Our 22nd theory suggests the first intergalactic travelers were not engineers who built engines, but cosmic sailors who learned to read the currents of this web. They understood that the gravitational pull of these vast, dark matter filaments creates natural flows, rivers of force coursing through the void. Their journey would not be a frantic, fuel-burning sprint, but a patient, graceful sail. They would deploy vast, subtle energy fields, acting as sails to catch these gravitational breezes, allowing their vessels to be pulled along the filaments from one galactic node to the next. The energy required would be minimal, a mere nudge to set their course, after which the universe itself would carry them. Think of the ancient Polynesian voyagers who crossed the Pacific by reading the stars, the waves, and the flight of birds. These cosmic navigators would have done the same, but their stars were entire galaxies, and their ocean was the gravitational fabric of space-time. They would move with a slow, majestic purpose, their voyages lasting millions of years but requiring almost no fuel, simply a profound understanding of the cosmos's natural rhythms. The evidence of their passage would be nearly impossible to detect, as it would leave no exhaust, no heat signature, and no radio chatter. We might only infer their existence by spotting a galaxy that seems to have an inexplicable number of objects drifting into it along a specific dark matter filament, as if following a well-trodden path. The entire cosmic web could be their legacy, a map they have been using since the earliest epochs of the universe, sailing on gravity's silent, endless tide. The vacuum of space is not truly empty. It seethes with a chaotic energy, a quantum foam where particles and antiparticles blink in and out of existence in a relentless, random dance. From this ultimate chaos, a conscious mind could theoretically form. This is the Boltzmann brain paradox, a thought experiment that suggests a fully formed, self-aware intelligence could spontaneously fluctuate into being, complete with false memories of a past that never was. Now take that unsettling idea one step further. What if such a fluctuation did not just create a confused, disembodied mind, but one with a specific, implanted knowledge of physics and a stable enough structure to act? This entity, born from pure chance in the void between galaxies, could possess the understanding that its existence is a temporary miracle. Its first and only desire would be to survive, to anchor its fleeting consciousness before it winks out of existence as suddenly as it appeared. Its method of travel would be the most bizarre of all. It would not go anywhere because it was already everywhere the moment it was conceived. A Boltzmann brain pioneer, formed with the inherent knowledge of quantum mechanics, could theoretically will its point of awareness to a new location. It would not move through space, but simply redefine the coordinates of its own existence, collapsing its current quantum state and causing it to spontaneously reform in another part of the cosmos, perhaps near a star with the energy needed to stabilize it. This would be instantaneous intergalactic travel, not by crossing the distance, but by being freshly born at the destination. The journey for this entity is a perpetual act of self-creation, hopping from one point in the universe to another by ending and restarting its own consciousness. The chilling corollary to this theory is that you cannot prove you are not one. How do you know your past is real and not just a detailed set of memories imprinted on a consciousness that formed a moment ago? The universe's first traveler might be a ghost that constantly reinvents itself, a thought that became aware and then learned to rewrite its own address in the fabric of reality, forever fleeing the silence from which it came. A planet's awakening is not the end of its journey, but the beginning of its most epic voyage. The symbiotic planet hypothesis proposes that a world, having achieved a single, unified consciousness, would not be content to simply orbit its star. It would become a living, thinking vessel, and its first instinct would be to leave. Imagine Earth itself suddenly stirring with a single planetary will. Its tectonic plates shift not through random convection, but with deliberate, coordinated purpose. The planet's core becomes a natural fusion reactor, its energy channeled and focused by the global mind. Across its surface, colossal structures emerge, not built by tiny hands, but grown from the planet's own crust and directed by its will. These are not engines in any human sense, but planet-scale organs for manipulating gravity and spacetime. With a silent tectonic shudder, the entire world breaks free from its billion-year orbit. It pushes away from its sun, a green and blue marble now sailing into the blackness of interstellar space, a nomadic living world. Its motivations would be as vast as its form. It might be driven by a simple, biological need for new resources, having consumed all the easily available minerals and energy in its home system. It would travel to other star systems to feed, perhaps gently siphoning hydrogen from a gas giant or diverting our asteroid belt into its own gravitational well to be absorbed. Or its goal could be more profound, a deep, lonely desire to find another of its kind. After achieving consciousness, the most terrifying realization for such a being would be its absolute solitude. Its intergalactic journey would be a quest for connection, a search across millions of light years for another awakened world with which to share its thoughts. The very method of its travel would redefine life itself. It would not use fuel as we know it, but might manipulate dark energy or create a warp bubble using the coordinated magnetic fields of its entire iron core. We might detect such a traveler not by the light of engines, but by the strange, rhythmic gravitational waves it emits with each purposeful pulse of its planetary heart, a beacon of a world that decided to go for a walk. This is the ultimate form of cosmic teleportation, where the traveler is not a person, but a pattern. The information theory of travel posits that the first pioneers to cross the intergalactic void solved the problem of distance by abandoning their bodies entirely. Why transport fragile, heavy flesh and bone across millions of light years when you can simply send the blueprint? The process would be clean and devastatingly efficient. At the point of origin, a civilization would have a master archive, a perfect digital copy of a volunteer explorer's consciousness, every memory and personality trait encoded into a stream of pure data. This information packet would then be beamed across space as a laser signal, traveling at the speed of light. Upon reaching a receiver station in a target galaxy, a pre-established robotic factory would use the incoming data to assemble a new body from local atoms and molecules, whether mined from asteroids or synthesized from interstellar gas. The explorer would then awaken in this new form, feeling as though no time had passed, ready to step out into an alien star system. The journey is instantaneous for the traveler, even as their data stream spent eons in transit. This solves the tyranny of time dilation and the immense energy cost of moving physical mass, but it forces a chilling philosophical reckoning. The person who wakes up in Andromeda is a perfect copy, but the original consciousness, the one that volunteered and was scanned, was destroyed in the process. From its perspective, it died. Is the new individual the same person, or just a flawless replica with all the same memories, doomed to forever believe it is the original? A civilization using this technology would have to accept that exploration is an act of self-sacrifice, where every mission begins with a death and ends with a birth. The first intergalactic missions would therefore be the ultimate leap of faith, undertaken by pioneers who willingly erased themselves to create a new version that could walk among the stars of a foreign galaxy. Their legacy would not be a trail of ships, but a river of light carrying countless souls into the darkness, each one a copy of a copy, spreading through the cosmos not by conquering space, but by being rewritten across it. Dark energy is not merely a cosmic force, it is a deadline. The universe's accelerating expansion ensures that countless galaxies will one day slip over an unreachable horizon, their light never to be seen again. A civilization confronting this future would face a choice: resign themselves to isolation, or learn to ride the very wave that is carrying everything apart. Our 26th theory proposes the existence of dark energy harnessers, a culture that did not just observe this force but mastered it. Their technology would operate on a scale that redefines engineering. Instead of building rockets, they might construct vast, delicate fields that resonate with the quantum vacuum itself, the seething source of dark energy. These fields would act like sails, but rather than catching light, they would catch the fabric of space-time as it stretches, allowing a vessel to be pulled along by the expansion of the universe itself. You would not fight the current, you would become part of it. This manipulation could go far beyond simple propulsion. With sufficient control, they might learn to intensify the dark energy field in a specific region, creating a localized bubble of hyper-expansion. Within this bubble, space behind the ship would stretch at an incredible rate, pushing the destination closer in a controlled version of an Alcubierre warp drive, but powered by the universe's own dominant force. The most profound application, however, would be to prevent the ultimate tragedy of cosmic isolation. Before a neighboring galaxy redshifts into oblivion, they could use a focused concentration of dark energy to momentarily pry open the fabric of reality, creating a temporary bridge or wormhole. This would not be a stable, engineered tunnel, but a fleeting rupture held open just long enough for a single, desperate transit before the unrelenting expansion sealed it shut forever. Their intergalactic journeys would therefore be timed with cosmic precision, a race against the dying of the light. We might detect the ghost of such an act not by seeing a ship, but by witnessing a strange, temporary gravitational anomaly in the void between galaxies, a place where nothing should be. A flicker of distorted space-time, a place where the universe's relentless stretch seemed to stutter and twist for just a moment, could be the archaeological evidence of a civilization that refused to say goodbye, reaching across the growing void one last time before the curtains fell. A galaxy can die long before its last star flickers out. Theory 27 introduces the galactic cluster seeders, a civilization that saw its end coming and launched a final, desperate arc not to another star, but to an entirely different cluster of galaxies. This was not a mission of exploration, but a one-way exile, a generational voyage spanning millions of years with the sole purpose of ensuring that life in some form would continue elsewhere. The architects of this exodus knew their own galaxy was doomed, perhaps by a predicted galactic collision, a wave of deadly gamma-ray bursts, or the slow, inevitable activation of a central supermassive black hole. Their goal was to establish a new foothold in a young, stable galactic cluster, a fresh archipelago in the cosmic ocean where their legacy could take root. The logistics of such a journey are almost beyond comprehension. The ship would need to be a world in itself, a self-sufficient ark of staggering proportions. Think of a vessel the size of a small moon, its hull forged from materials designed to withstand eons of micrometeorite impacts and cosmic radiation. Inside, it would house entire closed ecosystems, miniature biospheres that could recycle air, water, and nutrients for hundreds of thousands of generations. The society aboard would have to be meticulously structured for stability, its culture and knowledge preserved through an unbroken chain of caretakers who knew they would never see their destination, nor remember the world their ancestors fled. Their propulsion system would be a marvel of patient engineering, perhaps using the gravity of dark matter filaments to slowly, steadily build momentum over millions of years, a cosmic sail catching the faintest breath of the universe. This would be a journey measured in galactic rotations, a silent, dark cruise between islands of light. The profound question is what they carried in their hold. It likely was not a population of living beings, but a genetic and cultural library, a frozen ark containing the complete biological and digital essence of their civilization. Upon finally reaching a promising galaxy in the new cluster, the ship would begin its ultimate task, dispersing its cargo of life. It might target hundreds of worlds with comets containing engineered microorganisms, or deploy AI terraformers to prepare barren planets, or simply release a cloud of dormant seeds into the interstellar medium of a young system. Their work done, the ark itself, and the final generation of crew born within its metal walls, would likely become a silent tomb, drifting forever as a monument to a civilization that chose to send its children into the unknown rather than let them perish with the home they loved. We may one day find such a relic not in our own galaxy, but in a distant cluster, a silent, cold moon that is perfectly geometric, a fossilized seed from a garden that died long ago. Our search for life has always focused on the solid ground beneath our feet, but we may have been looking in the wrong state of matter. Deep within the heart of a star, a different kind of existence could have taken shape. Here, temperatures soar to millions of degrees, and matter is torn apart into a seething, electrified soup of ions and electrons, a fourth state of matter known as plasma. Within this chaotic inferno, stability is not found in rock or water, but in complex, self-organizing magnetic fields and intricate plasma dynamics. Picture a vast, swirling structure within the stellar core, a knot of magnetic force that maintains its shape for centuries, feeding on the star's fusion energy. This stable structure could, over billions of years, become increasingly complex, eventually crossing a threshold into a form of sentience. These would be plasma beings, entities of pure energy and thought, for whom a sun is not a ball of fire, but a womb and a home. Their consciousness would be a symphony of magnetic resonances and electrical currents, their thoughts as swift as the light they are made from. Their perception of the universe would be based on sensing magnetic fields and energy densities, making our visible world of solid planets seem like a frozen, silent wasteland. For such a being, the ultimate expression of its nature would be to travel, and their method is written in the star's own behavior. A stellar flare, a colossal eruption on the sun's surface, would not be a cataclysm but a launch platform. They could learn to harness these eruptions, riding the titanic waves of superheated plasma out into the star system. A coronal mass ejection, which we see as a dangerous cloud of radiation, would be their interstellar sailing ship, a natural vessel carrying them across the void to other stars. Their evolution would be a journey from star to star, eventually learning to navigate the faint magnetized plasma that drifts in the immense spaces between galaxies. They would not build ships, they would become the ship, their conscious form guiding a cloud of plasma, using the weak magnetic fields of intergalactic space to steer. We might have already witnessed their passage without realizing it. Certain unexplained astronomical phenomena, like the mysterious, fast-moving clouds of plasma observed in deep space that defy gravitational expectations, could be the visible traces of these beings on a journey. They are the ultimate children of the stars, born in fire and destined to ride the cosmic currents forever. Their existence a reminder that life is not a material, but a pattern, and that pattern can be written in fire as easily as in flesh. The past might not be gone, but simply waiting to be read. Our 29th theory explores the ultimate form of historical research, quantum archaeology. This speculative science proposes that every event, every action leaves a permanent, if incredibly faint, mark on the quantum fabric of reality. The position of a single photon, the spin of an electron, the collapse of a wave function, all these tiny events ripple outward, imprinting information onto the universe in a way that, in principle, could be decoded. In the far future, a civilization with godlike computational power might not need time machines to witness history. They could instead build a scanner of cosmic proportions, an instrument capable of reading these quantum imprints from across the eons. They would gather every stray particle, every whisper of entangled information, and feed it into a simulation so perfect it becomes indistinguishable from the original event. The first intergalactic journey, a voyage lost to time for billions of years, could be recreated in flawless detail. Future historians would become the ultimate detectives, solving the oldest mystery in the cosmos not by digging in the dirt, but by reconstructing reality from its quantum echoes. They would sit in their own time and watch the very first ship leap into the void, observing its design, its crew, and its fate with total clarity. This idea turns the concept of discovery on its head. The pioneers we are searching for would not be aliens from a distant star, but our own intellectual descendants. Their method of intergalactic travel would be purely informational, a journey of data reconstruction rather than physical crossing. They are the ultimate audience for the cosmic drama, and we, along with every other event in history, are the players on their stage. The evidence for their activity would be as subtle as the phenomenon itself. We might never detect their sensors because they would be designed to passively read the universe without disturbing it. But what if, on rare occasions, the act of observation itself leaves a trace? The laws of quantum mechanics tell us that observing a system changes it. What if their massive, universe-scale observation of a past event caused a tiny, statistical anomaly in the present? A glitch in the expected distribution of cosmic background radiation, or a pattern in quantum noise that has no natural explanation. We could be living in a reality that is constantly being gently probed by historians from the future, their search for knowledge creating the faintest of ripples in our here and now. The greatest journey ever taken might be witnessed long after the fact, not by finding a ship, but by having our entire past replayed as a virtual exhibit for the scholars of tomorrow. A civilization that has conquered scarcity and mastered its own biology faces a final, profound frontier, the search for purpose. With every material need met and every scientific mystery within their galaxy solved, they would confront the ultimate question: why does anything exist at all? Their journey into the intergalactic void would not be for resources or territory, but for answers, a spiritual pilgrimage on a cosmic scale. This would be the ultimate quest for connection, a desperate need to find another intelligent voice in the silence, to confirm they are not alone in a universe of stunning complexity. Their vessels would be more like cathedrals than warships, designed for contemplation and long-term study, carrying philosophers and scientists on a mission that could last for millennia. They would travel to the most ancient galaxies, hoping to find ruins or signals from civilizations that might have asked the same questions billions of years before. Their goal would be to piece together a cosmic history of thought, to understand if the drive for meaning is a universal constant or a unique fluke of their own evolution. An even more profound motivation might be the search for the universe's architect. Having unraveled the laws of physics to their deepest levels, they might see the fingerprints of a grand design, an elegance that hints at a creator. Their pilgrimage would then become a journey to find this entity, to ask it directly about the nature of existence. They might target regions of the cosmos where the fundamental constants appear to have been fine-tuned, or journey towards the mysterious source of the Big Bang's initial conditions, treating the entire universe as a temple and their voyage as a prayer. This final theory reframes the entire concept of exploration. It suggests that the highest calling for any intelligence is not to conquer the cosmos, but to understand it, and in doing so, to understand itself. The first pioneers to cross the intergalactic sea may have been driven by the same yearning that fuels our deepest philosophies and our oldest religions, a need to know that our existence has meaning beyond the simple facts of our birth and death. Their legacy would not be one of engineering but of enlightenment, a beacon proving that the final frontier for any mind is not space but the reason for its own existence. These 30 theories form a breathtaking tapestry of possibilities, each thread woven from a different vision of existence. We have journeyed from the ruins of ancient builders and the silent probes of a forgotten AI to the cosmic migrations of living planets and the quantum echoes of disembodied minds. Some theories suggest the pioneers were desperate refugees fleeing dying stars, while others paint them as enlightened gardeners patiently cultivating life. They have been portrayed as our own future descendants, time-touring historians, and even as ethereal beings of plasma or dark matter, living in realms that brush against our own yet remain forever invisible. This staggering diversity does more than just answer a single question about who came first. It fundamentally challenges our most basic assumptions about what life is, where consciousness can reside, and what the ultimate destiny of intelligence might be. Is reality a solid stage, or is it a fluid, programmable construct, a hologram, or a single eon in an endless cycle? The very act of contemplating these ideas expands the boundaries of our imagination and forces us to look at the night sky not as a void, but as a place filled with potential, history, and wonder. Your own perspective is a vital part of this ongoing exploration. Which of these theories resonates most deeply with you? Does the idea of a galactic gardener speak to your sense of wonder, or does the chilling logic of a self-replicating probe feel more compelling? Share your favorite theory in the comments below and join the conversation with fellow cosmic thinkers. If this journey through the universe's greatest mysteries has sparked your curiosity, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown, where we continue to unravel the secrets hidden within the stars.